once again for another Chicago Bears post-game show Victory Monday edition right here on the Kanika Sports Channel. I am your host, Kenny, and I am bringing you the good, the bad, and the ugly from all of yesterday's Chicago Bears action at Soldier Field against the New York Football Giants. But before we do, I need to ask you guys for one small favor. Please like the video that you're watching. Please subscribe to our channel so that you can get all of our shorts and all of our segments posted to your phone whenever you want. And you also need to ring that bell for our mascot, Freckles, a.k.a. Frexy. That's right. And that's an X-I-E on the end, everybody. I just want to be clear about that. She is adorable, and she loves attention.
She does. Thank you.
All right, Nika. The Bears win 24-20 over the New York Football Giants. And, wow.
What a game.
I want to say, before we get into this breakdown, this does have the potential to one day become the good, better, best post-game show.
A potential, okay.
Potentially. But we're not there yet. It is still the good and the bad and the ugly. But once again, the Bears get another late come-from-behind victory, and they get it led by their young quarterback, Caleb Williams, back-to-back weeks. He gets it done. And the Monday morning sentiment that I'm getting out there on social media from Bears land is that we got one, everybody. We finally got a quarterback, you know? And I just, as much of a Caleb fan as I am, can we please just pump the brakes on this shit? Like, I have been complaining about the roller coaster, and it goes both ways, guys. When he doesn't perform up to what we want him to see, like, everyone's like, he sucks, he's terrible, he's the worst thing since whatever. And then yesterday, you know, he leads us back to victory kind of almost single-handedly because he had a lot of drop passes yesterday. But we know, watching the game, that he got it done when it mattered the most, and he sort of willed us to victory, and I'm excited too. But I want to see a lot more ceiling filled up before we start saying we got one. You know,
Okay.
like, I feel like there's a lot of room still to grow and get better.
Absolutely.
And that's exciting, considering that the Bears are now 6-3, Nika, after 9 games. A big improvement from last year, especially getting over that 5-win hump. You know, we had
Definitely.
a total of 5 wins last year. The season's barely half over,
And we got 6.
and we got 6. So pretty exciting stuff if you're a Bears fan.
And the Giants lost their coach.
Well, we're going to talk about that. The good. We got to start with the good.
Okay.
I saw a lot of good in this game from our Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams, we just talked about. We're going to talk about it some more. The running game continues to be dominant. Rome Odunze's father was silenced, and our penalties were down.
That's good.
Absolutely. Caleb Williams played better than his final numbers would say. I know I just said that a second ago, but the Bears receivers had at least 6 or 7 dropped passes yesterday, including a sure thing touchdown from Zacchaeus.
Okay.
Sorry, it took me a second to make sure I say his name correctly. Zacchaeus. And yeah, the Bears had a little bit of stiff fingers out there in the cold Chicago weather.
Could that be the factor in those drops?
No, this is a bad excuse. It didn't affect the Giants, really. I mean,
That's
like,
true.
both teams got to play in the conditions, and I just didn't see it affecting them as much. So I don't think it's a good excuse.
Okay.
And it really is it lets you down in those situations. Those drops, they're almost as bad as penalties because they're drive killers. They're prevented points from being put on the board in the first quarter yesterday on a beautiful, amazing rollout scramble throw. And I want to say this. I think Caleb Williams might throw on the run better than almost any quarterback I've ever seen, especially for his age and accuracy that he's doing it with. Sometimes it looks like he almost looks more comfortable throwing on the run than he does in the pocket. And I think that's one of the hardest things that he's had to learn this season with Ben Johnson's offense is being in the pocket more. And that's why he's struggled with timing at times.
So this is something that he's learning or relearning.
He's probably relearning, yeah, because he's been able to run around back there, pardon better way of putting it, and just fling the ball all over the field like a little bit of a Texas gunslinger.
Sure.
And we don't want to take that away from him because we see how effective that can be.
But not every single play can be played like that.
Correct.
So you
not
need
in Ben
to-
Johnson's
right,
offense.
Right, exactly.
Definitely not. All right. Well, some more good to talk about are the penalty situation for the Bears.
Improved.
Oh my gosh, Nika, we finally got what I've been asking for this season, which is 5 or less penalties. We got 3 yesterday. 3 penalties for 25 yards only. So this is a great start, a great moment for the Bears this season. Now, let's not digress and let's keep it going.
Yes.
Like, let's not get back to next week 10 or
11.
12 penalties again, please. Yeah, or 11. And nothing in double digits. But let's try to keep it 5 or less a game. I think that's a realistic, good goal for this group of guys. And I was really happy to see this, Nika. Well, the Bears running game, meanwhile, just continues to cook up a storm. 171 yards on the ground, 6.1 average per carry. DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai, both getting it done yesterday. 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. 1 from Caleb Williams at the end, the game winner. The Bears running game continues to be a huge threat. And oh, by the way, Caleb Williams had 73 yards rushing in this game.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a lot. 63 yards. I said 73. I'm correcting myself. One more good thing that I got to talk about is our guy, Rome Odunze. I couldn't help but notice Caleb Williams threw the first offensive play of the game and got Rome Odunze a catch after Rome was catchless last week and had a little bit of social media drama regarding his father, who was not happy that Rome did not get any catches last week.
If you touch it, you can catch it.
Yeah, we did show that Rome Odunze did miss and drop a pretty sure thing touchdown catch from Caleb Williams last week against the Bengals, but that's neither here nor there.
Exactly.
He rebounds this week. He has a big week.
Yes.
He has 6 receptions for 86 yards and a touchdown, everybody. So Rome Odunze, welcome back to the land of scoring touchdowns. You remember he had 5 touchdowns through the first 4 games of the season. I don't think he had found the end zone since then. So good to see him getting back where he belongs.
That's right.
All right. Well, the bad. It's time to turn our attentions to some bad. And I want to talk about the Giants offense and the fact that we had to come back again, Nika. Look, I'm glad that we came back and won this game. Believe me, nobody is happier about that. But I do want to point out that I don't feel like this was something that should have been necessary this week.
Okay.
And this is not necessarily a game that we wanted to have to come back in. We wanted to maybe dominate a little bit more and play just 60 full minutes of good football against a team that is clearly beatable. Instead, we had receivers just dropping passes all over the field. 6 drops. I heard this morning that 6 drops is the most by a team this season.
Oh, well, at least they're leading something.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what the solution for this is, but I would send them all out there in the rain this week.
Practice.
And no gloves. Take them off, all of it, and just get your fingers nice and cold and wet and go catch some footballs, boys, and see how you like it. And then maybe you won't drop so many next time.
There you go.
Yeah. That's my advice.
What if it's not raining?
Well, you can make some.
Yeah, that's true.
Turn the sprinkler system on.
It might be a little cold, but hey, whatever.
It's
If it
supposed
works.
to be. It's supposed to be.
It's gonna get colder. The winter is coming.
Yeah, go roll those balls around in the snow first.
Exactly.
Make them nice and hard. Yeah. Ouch. All right. Well, on a serious note, our defense, Nika, continues to get shredded here. In fact, the New York Football Giants outgained the Bears in this game 431 yards to 391 yards total. Not necessarily what you want to have happen. Now, I will point out the defense did make some huge plays, led by C.J. Gardner-Johnson, everybody. And this is, of course, the bad boy that the Bears picked up a couple weeks ago. He gets 2 sacks in this game and a forced fumble, the only turnover of the game, and it goes in the Bears' favor, and that wound up being a big one.
Yeah.
So the defense, though, giving up a lot here, and Jackson Dart made it look super easy for a lot of this game until he, of course, had to leave with a concussion. And that's where I kind of want to take this conversation next with the ugly land.
Okay.
The Giants didn't necessarily lose this game to the Bears so much as I feel like they kind of beat themselves, everybody. And if Jackson Dart did not suffer a concussion in this game, do you think the Bears would have won the game still? I am skeptical as can be, especially with how he was just making it look easy against us with his legs, with his arm. I know he got sacked a couple times, but a lot of the game, it looked to me like he was pretty comfortable back there and just waiting for a receiver to get open downfield and hitting him. And I am not so confident in our defense going into what is going to be a difficult stretch of schedule coming up. More on that in a minute before we get out of here. But I was not loving what I was seeing out of the Bears defense with Jackson Dart. We warned about this before the game, we warned that he is good.
Don't get into a shootout with him.
He's a rookie playing on a team that has a 2-7 record. There's not a lot of pressure there. There's not. I'm sorry. If they were 4-2 or 5-3 like the Bears were, there'd be more pressure.
This is a different situation.
But this isn't that, and he's just playing loose out there. And then, people can make excuses about the weather all they want with the Bears, but it didn't affect the Giants when you see, 19 out of 29 for Jackson Dart, 242 yards. Also 2 rushing touchdowns. He's a beast, but he got concussed and he's out for the fourth quarter of this game, allowing a Bears comeback. So while we'll take the W, we don't apologize for wins. We're going to take a note from our head coach, Ben Johnson. We're not going to apologize, but we are going to take note that we might not have won this game had things gone a little differently on the injury front. Another thing that was a huge mistake in this game was the Giants basically on the half-yard line deciding on fourth down to kick a field goal when they were up 17-10 and go up 20-10 on the Bears. And unfortunately, the Bears came back and won 24-20. And if the Giants go for it on fourth down there and make a touchdown, they go up probably 24-10 instead of 20-10. And if they miss, the Bears get the ball on like the half-yard line, so they have to go 99.5 yards to score a touchdown. And instead, they kick this field goal and give the Bears the ball back and a more comfortable drive, and the Bears score on their last 2 possessions of the game and allow this to come back. And these are the kinds of decisions that will cost you your job, folks, as of this morning.
Yeah.
Brian Daboll is no longer the head football coach of the New York Giants. His career has been ended by a Caleb Williams comeback.
Happens.
I wrote in my notes before the show, he's probably fired. He broke the cardinal rule of sports. Obviously we could say, yes, he's fired now. He's not probably fired. He is fired. And the cardinal rule of sports is that when you are on the road, you play to win, not
to lose.
Not to lose. Sorry, it's a double entendre. Not to lose. You can't you can't have a lead on the road and play not to lose. What does that mean? It means basically you can't play it safe. And kicking a field goal there was playing it safe. And instead of putting the Bears down by 2 touchdowns, they put them down by 2 scores. And we've seen that you're just 2 possessions away then from taking the lead. We've seen that happen to the Bears this year themselves.
Yep.
And in fact, we saw it last week at Cincinnati, I think. So it's just, this is the game that you live in. And this is why you have to play to win, especially on the road in professional sports. This doesn't just apply to football, folks. This applies to baseball. It applies to hockey. It applies to basketball. You cannot play it safe on the road and expect to win.
Yeah, exactly. Look what happened with baseball. Playing it safe. You're never going to get a ring.
Yes, exactly. Dave Roberts certainly did not play it safe in the World Series with those substitutions he made in that game, and he's being hailed as a genius, as he probably should be right now, for making the exact moves that wound up needing to be made on
the World Series stage. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, look at that. Lo and behold, Nika, the Bears are in a playoff position as of this morning. Holy cow. Could they make the playoffs this year? Wow. This is crazy. The Bears right now are in 7th place in the NFC.
Okay.
And that would put them as the final playoff team, everybody. Now, we should note that the Eagles and Packers have not played yet.
Well, they play tonight.
They play tonight on Monday Night Football, and we are going to be watching that game because they are both on this list, number 2 and number 3, respectively. But the Packers, everybody, if they lose, would actually fall below the Bears. And that is because they have a tie, everybody. They tied the Cowboys, and that tie would mean that if they failed to get a victory tonight against the Eagles, they would only have 5 W's on the season, and that would put them below the Bears. Kind of funny how that works out. So we'll have to wait and see how this all shakes out. But I think the Packers would be hanging on still to a playoff spot, but everyone would be shifting around tomorrow morning.
Okay.
If the Packers are to lose this game. Now, if the Eagles lose this game tonight, then the Packers will stay in first place in the NFC North, and they will move up into second place in the NFC. So
will that eliminate?
big Monday Night Football
Yeah,
game
but will
tonight.
that eliminate the Bears from the playoff position?
No, it will
That won't
not.
affect
No,
them.
they're in that bottom spot right now.
It doesn't affect them, basically.
I'm just saying if the Packers lose, they would fall to below the Bears, both in the division standings and, of course, in the conference standings as a result. So now, having said all that, the Bears are about to embark on a really, really tough stretch of schedule. And it all starts next week at Minnesota.
Oh, Vikings.
Divisional road game. Our second divisional road game of the season. The first one was in week 2 against Detroit, and that was a bloodbath, not in our favor. This is a big game. The Vikings are coming off a really bad loss yesterday. J.J. McCarthy did not look great. They really must be regretting trading Sam Darnold in the offseason.
It's too late for now.
And it is too late for that. But I do want to remind everyone, J.J. McCarthy did find something against the Bears in the fourth quarter of his first game. He looked terrible for the first 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden he found something. He was eventually benched, by the way. The Bears really owe the Vikings a win here.
Yeah.
Because of that week 1 loss. You know,
Sure.
that's a game the Bears should have won. And so I'm curious to see how this unfolds. And obviously we'll be back doing a pregame show on Friday for the game against the Vikings, and we'll be looking a lot closer at the injury reports then. But yeah, this is a big game. I think a winnable game for the Bears on the road, and one that they should definitely try and win if they want to make the playoffs, considering what's around the corner. The Steelers, the Eagles, 2 times against the Packers. I mean,
rough.
this is going to be a bloodbath to the end of this season. And if
So
the Bears want to make the playoffs this year, which they can, they need to win this game against the Vikings.
But they got to improve on the defense for starters and keep the penalties down just the way they had it this last
Absolutely. So it is the Vikings up next.
game. Oof.
All right. We'll be back on Friday doing our pregame show as always.
Yay.
Thank you for joining us, though, on this Chicago Bears post-game Victory Monday edition right here on the Kanika Sports Channel. And it was fun. This was good. Good victory for the Bears, even though it could have been a lot less stressful, let's just say. Let's not try to do it at the last minute unless we have to. If that's the way it has to be, I'll accept it. But as long as it's a win and not a loss. You heard me.